Hi everyone, welcome to Our Two Cents. My name is Clinton Smith. I'm your host for this show, and I'm also the CEO of GCES. I'm here today with Levi Allison, our financial advisor, and Galen Bargerstock, our financial advisor and president of GCES. Guys, how are you both today?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you today?
I am wonderful. I am fantastic. I have no complaints. Yeah, so it's all going good.
Nice.
And I like what we're going to talk about today too.
Yeah, I definitely do too.
It is, okay, so like, this is kind of like a personal thing, but you know how like in life there are new things that come out and you're like, meh, not gonna do it, don't wanna learn about it. People did that with the internet, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think the internet's going anywhere. I think it's gonna be staying around for quite a while. But there are people that just in the beginning said, meh, don't wanna learn about it, don't wanna do it, you know?
Yeah.
Like my mother now with anything technological. You know, some people at some point just decide, I'm not going to learn about it. And I've been that way about Bitcoin.
She used to be really good with technology, though.
She was at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's probably not even. We talked about who's your personal cheerleader, your favorite fan. I would be like usually my mom, but I don't think she's watched all of these episodes. So I guess she's not my biggest fan anymore. Right. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Today's topic is learning about Bitcoin with Levi. And my whole thing about Bitcoin, that's where I was. I didn't want to learn about it. I was like, meh, doesn't seem that important to me. But we have had a lot of clients ask about Bitcoin, and Levi is our resident Bitcoin expert. He is young, he is into it, and so let's start talking about Bitcoin. Just explain it very generally. What is Bitcoin for people?
It's a cryptocurrency and it's digital money. It's a store of value. It's similar to gold. It's online gold. A lot of people have different views on it. It depends on how comfortable you are with the internet. People like gold because it's tangible. You could hold it. You know, this is just a fake right here. This is a fake Bitcoin. It's not a real Bitcoin. Nice. It would be on your phone or on a cold wallet. It's called, but it's a hedge against inflation right now.
Okay. Yeah. So Bitcoin is cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
Online money, never get to hold it in your hand. So I feel like a lot of people, that's probably a lot of people's hang-ups, I would think, with Bitcoin is that they never actually get to hold the money.
Well, I can understand that, but people never actually hold their 401k either. You know, the money that they're investing. So
they could.
Well, they can't. So, you know, it is, you know, we're living in a digital world already. A lot of people don't realize it, that we are. You know, I like that we're talking about Bitcoin today because, you know, honestly, there was a long time where I wasn't allowed to talk about Bitcoin. You know, it was like we didn't talk about it, it was taboo. And now we're getting a lot of questions about it, you know.
Yeah, and we deal with Bitcoin in the way that, how does it work with our clients that we actually do have Bitcoin available?
You know, so Bitcoin, everything with me, 100% diversification, and you need to go with your risk tolerance of what is appropriate for you. But Bitcoin, we do have inside of, you know, some portfolios that are managed risk strategies and indexes that we can place people into them if they want some exposure to Bitcoin.
Levi, how hard is it to actually buy Bitcoin? Like,
you could do it in the outside world. You could get on an exchange, buy it, make your own account. But we encourage it with us because it's managed. When you're with your own money, you have an emotional connection to the money. When we're holding it for you, it's professionally managed, and there's no risk of kind of screwing yourself over in a way of selling when you shouldn't sell or buying when you shouldn't buy. So that's the advantage of coming doing it in a managed account, even though you're not actually having the Bitcoin on your own wallet.
Yeah.
You know, you would still be in the game, and you want skin in the game.
And I mean,
that's what it is.
I'm just talking like signing up for it. Like, is it like as easy as signing up for a new Google address, or is it like more difficult to get into it?
It'd be like making an E-Trade account.
Okay.
So similar to that, you know, there are people who trade their own stocks or Robinhood. It'd be that kind of process.
So we talked about gold earlier, and I want to touch on this too. You know, gold is a huge thing. We can also put that into people's portfolios as well. How does crypto compare to gold money-wise?
It's limited supply. So there's 21 million Bitcoin total. That's all there's ever going to be. Right now there's 19.8 million, and it's never going to go above that 21 billion total supply. With gold, you could go mine more gold. You know, we're not going to know what the value is going to be. Yeah. You know, if Elon Musk goes to space and pulls out all the gold from the asteroids, you know, gold is worthless. So
yeah. So there we go, guys. Gold is worthless, and get your crypto from Levi. So let's go back to that. You said 19.5 million is where it's at?
Yeah, 19. Yeah,
And that's 19.5 million shares.
shares. Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And then all of those shares then are valued at $101,000 a share.
As of today, December 12th.
Okay, so today
2024.
Today is December 12th, 2024, guys. As of today, a share of Bitcoin is $101,000. To me, that seems like a lot for one share that you never actually get to hold anything either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a whole lot.
So with that, but you also do say that the lowest you can purchase is $10.
About $10.
How does that work?
You could buy fractional shares. It's not like buying a stock on a traditional exchange. You know, with us, if you buy stocks, you have to buy the whole stock. That's how the stock market works. But with this, it's fractional. You could do fractional.
Yeah.
So whatever dollar value you're able to put in.
I hated fractions in high school. I hated math class. That's why I am not the financial advisor. It's these guys. I have to use a calculator for everything. I hated math class. Fractions were probably the worst part of math class for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was also in dumb math. I was in algebra for like 3 years in a row. So fractions, not my favorite thing.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of different. This is more what we do is more of like an emotional math, you know, so we take mathematics and then sprinkle in some emotions and then, you know, muster up a plan.
Yeah. I also like emotional math. Like, hey, I'm feeling emotional today, so I'm going to go buy something. You know?
Yeah, I know.
That's another way to ease the pain. So cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, learn about Bitcoin with Levi. Levi, why is crypto a big deal?
It's growing faster than the internet. So if you went back 10 years ago and said, I'm never going to believe in the internet, you probably don't look that smart now.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of want to go with the flow in investing, even though, you know, the market's never wrong in anything, because that's how like trading psychology, investing psychology, the market's never wrong. So to follow that trend, at least lightly, we're not telling people to go out and put your whole net worth into it.
Yeah.
It's just keep an open mind to looking into new investing options with this.
And when did Bitcoin start? Do you know?
2009. It wasn't really mainstream until about 2013. But it actually got to $1 trillion market cap faster than Apple. So it took Bitcoin 12 years to go to 1 trillion total worth, and it took Apple 42 years. So it just kind of shows you the size and how quickly it grew exponentially.
Have there been any downfall? Like, I feel like people have been scared about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Is there a specific reason why? Like
Volatility.
Volatility.
It's the most volatile asset class in the world, and there's no guarantees in it, you know, and it's not insured. So that's the big scare.
Thank you. Guys, we're learning about Bitcoin with Levi today. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. In the meantime, if you want to book an appointment with Levi or Galen, their number right here on the screen, 888-391-3465. And we will be back in just a moment and learn more about Bitcoin with Levi. When we started the business, we didn't know what it was going to come into. You know, we answered a Craigslist ad, and Galen had already had experience in the insurance industry, and we just started working with federal employees.
Inside of our office, we have about 5 support staff that, you know, answer phone calls, questions, paperwork, things like that.
I think clients enjoy working with us because we make it a very easy approach for them, where they might not understand why we're asking some of the questions we ask, but in the end, we put it all together in a 56-page customized report for them that we do for free, where it's a free financial analysis for them to understand everything that they have.
I think clients appreciate the most that we're more down to earth than some other firms, but we have fun while we do it.
When you think about retirement planning, does it sometimes feel like operation procrastination? Don't let life get in the way. You can give your retirement a tune-up today.
There's ins, there's outs, there's ups, there's downs. But when you take control of your finances and retirement, you're making the choice to take advantage of the pros and not the cons. Knowledge is power, and when you understand your retirement, you become the one in control.
No matter where you are in the retirement planning process, we are here to help you. Call today for your own retirement tune-up. Welcome back, everyone. Normally, I'm not one that likes commercial breaks, but man, those are some great commercials.
I like commercials.
I do like commercials.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to totally go off topic about this. Sure. We went to like streaming TV a couple years ago. So like we haven't seen commercials. We haven't watched anything on like TLC. And then we go, where were we at? Cancun on vacation.
So, yeah.
And we did not want to leave our room because we were stuck on Love on the Spectrum and like My 600-Pound Life on TLC.
Yeah.
Those are some good shows.
And then to see all the commercials in between, oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Not that I want you guys to switch over to the TLC channel now. Give it another like 17 minutes and then check out and see what's on there. But there's some good programming.
Yeah.
And we were in Cancun and we didn't want to leave the hotel because we were busy watching TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Commercials, and then commercials coming back into our life. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're learning about Bitcoin with Levi. Levi Allison is one of our financial advisors. He's relatively new to our team, but he did his internship with us. And I know it's really hard for you guys to tell because of the cameras not being that HD, but he is slightly younger than us a little bit. How old were you when Bitcoin started?
Would have been about 7 or 8.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
So I was an idiot for not investing back then.
Yes.
But,
Yeah. Right. At 7 years old.
7.
I
You're ready.
should have saw that one coming.
Right.
But,
I've been sitting on that since before the commercial break. So one of the things that we pulled up is that the internet had approximately 500 million users in the first 20 years. So 500 million users in the first 20 years of the internet. Bitcoin, however, is on pace for 1 billion users in the same time frame as the internet. That is a lot more users than 500 million. I don't want to do the math on it, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. What do you think that means really for Bitcoin and for clients that are looking to invest in it as well?
it's just shown that people have so much confidence in it that even though there's no securities laws like there are with us, it's not FDIC insured, it's not SIPC insured. That's the danger of it. But even though that's still there, it's not stopping people from getting in because they feel it's such a good hedge to inflation that it's worth the risk.
Yeah, and we've all seen this, honestly. I've had friends that have nothing to do with finance or the financial industry, and they like to play basically Monopoly with stocks, where they're trading stocks like they're some Wall Street Journal expert. It all ends in disaster, or at least for everyone that we've known that has done that ends up losing all of the money that they ended up making. And we've seen that over and over again, and that's kind of the same thing we're saying that could happen with Bitcoin, is if you're playing around with money. You said earlier it's the most volatile asset that people can have in their retirement. Why is it volatile? Like, what happened that it's the most volatile?
It goes in cycles. So the issue is there's a 4-year cycle, and you have to ride the ups and downs through the cycle. So right now it's been a good cycle, and me and Galen have got so many questions from people about how to incorporate Bitcoin in their portfolio. And now's, we're not saying now's the best time, but over the next 10 years, we think it'll be okay if you do a very small percent, depending on your risk tolerance, to get that in your portfolio.
Excellent. So what kind of percentage do you think right now is a good mix for them to have it in their portfolio?
I mean, if you're very low risk and curious, I would do maybe 1% to 2%. If you're, a go-getter, you're risky, maybe 5%, 10%. So like this shouldn't be a big allocation for anybody, I don't think.
And now, Galen, you said earlier about the mutual funds, or just explain how it works for our clients, what we are able to offer.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've had phone calls. People are demanding me to put them in Bitcoin, So inside of a fund, Levi was just talking about, $10 buy-in. So, I think the minimum dollar amount for me to put in is $5,000 inside of the actual, risk-managed fund that's playing off of the Bitcoin. So, if you're going into that, you have to have $5,000. So, of course, if you're like Levi just said, you're not going to want to put all of your portfolio in it. You got to diversify. First, I'm going to have to ask you risk tolerance, see where you should be at. Because just because you like the idea of Bitcoin, because everybody's riding the train, doesn't mean that your risk is telling me that you should be put any money in Bitcoin because you're super conservative. So we're going to have that conversation before anything. But, I'm with Levi. You can put it in as, 5, 10%. I am blending it in there now because it's, a hot trend. And that's everything with investments. Like the S&P 500, that is the top 500 companies. So everything that we ever do is trending. So why wouldn't we talk about something that's trending?
So how is so we know that it's volatile. Mm-hmm. And I know what that means, that like it's a high chance of you not having the money.
Correct.
Is it because the price of the stock would go down?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's crashed a few times, but it's made a comeback. It's at the all-time high as of this week, December 12th, 2024.
So $101,000 for one share. That seems like a lot of money. You know what I mean? I know that you can do the fractional parts of it too.
Yeah.
But to me, I still am on the mindset that I'm like, it's going to go away in a couple years. But obviously, those numbers are not what you're showing us today. So I guess I'm going to have to get on this Bitcoin train with everyone else. But it goes back to the whole, if all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do the same thing?
Investing is trends, so, it's that risk versus reward thing. And, one of the things that I would say is the most important thing, when you're talking about Bitcoin in general, more, the strategies Levi's talking about, not going with a financial advisor, is never put more money than you can afford to completely lose. Because if there's that volatility and it's a very high risk thing to go into, you have to be willing to lose that $5,000 that you're putting into that, knowing that it could happen potentially.
Yeah. Bitcoin seems to be a huge thing. I know we talked about the users on the internet earlier. I do want to just share this other topic this other fact as well, that the internet itself grew in the time of the internet 76% every year. Bitcoin has grown 137% annually. So that is a huge number for it to have grown that much.
Yeah, and that's number of users total. So not, we're not saying the price goes up at that flat rate every year. So that would just be the total number of people that use the internet, or companies that used it went up 76%, and then the total number of people in crypto went up at an even higher rate.
So it's crashed before. If it crashes, is that the right time to get in?
Yes and no.
Because at one point, a long time ago, before we were in this business, my family was all like, hey, let's buy stocks in this coal company. Yeah. And everyone in my family, extended family,
and my family, yeah,
and your family, we all jumped on this Corsa coal stock.
I think that's what
we all bought it. I literally, we put as much money as we could into it at that time. Whenever we were working in restaurants and other places, when we were young. And as soon as we bought it, it went from $1 down to a penny.
Yeah.
It is still at a penny too. Yeah. So
no comeback yet.
No comeback yet. No. But that's kind of the same thing. That's what people would get into with Bitcoin then. Yeah. Well, and at $101,000 a share, that could be a lot of money lost.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, it is not going away. You're talking about the internet and comparing it to how the internet grew. Well, Bitcoin wouldn't be around if the internet wasn't involved. And now the internet has moved to cell phones. And it is so easy for a person to sit there on their phone any time of day and start scrolling. You're looking at what's going on. You're getting curious. You're getting interest. So I think the cell phones are guiding the way the market is actually starting to work. And, that's part of, what we do with Zoom appointments. I'm even seeing people on my phone. So if you have questions about Bitcoin and you have, want to know a financial advisor's intake, well, we just link face-to-face on the phone that you're looking up Bitcoin on, and we're having that conversation, and then we're putting you in it. So cell phones are guiding everything, I think. I don't think it's Bitcoin.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us so far as we talk about learn about Bitcoin with Levi. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I think the best thing to start at with retirement is just knowing that you don't have to have a certain dollar amount for retirement. It's just knowing that you want to retire, and you need to start thinking about the different aspects of it.
Even if you're in your 30s and you just got married, it's time to start meeting with someone and get a plan in place. It's not always easy to do it whenever you're right there at retirement. So if you're years out, it's time to get a plan in place.
I think a successful retirement is a happy retirement. It doesn't matter to me how much money you're going to make into retirement. You know your bills better than I do. So I think just being happy and comfortable with what you have is the appropriate amount that you need for retirement. It's very important to have a financial plan into retirement, because if you don't have a plan, you're going to kind of be lost with what to do. And plans change, but at least if you establish a plan, you have a little bit more consistency of what's going to go on.
At GCES, we have years of experience in working with thousands of families in over 40 states across the country.
We understand the ins and outs of your retirement planning and can help you understand all the options available to you.
Finances, retirement, the future, these are all things that can seem outside of your control, but with proper planning and a partnership with a financial advisor, you can put all of your worries at ease.
I'm Galen Bargerstock, and I've dedicated my life to helping families understand their retirement options and making sure that they can make the most of it, regardless of their income. All families deserve a financial advisor they can trust to help make the best choices.
At GCES, we have the expertise to help you down the road to retirement. All you have to do, give us a call today and start your journey. Welcome back, guys. I'm Clinton Smith, the CEO of GCES, and I am here today with the two top financial advisors. They're both huge fiduciaries, Levi Allison and Galen Bargerstock. So, guys, I'd ask you how you were, but I already know you're great because I asked before the last break.
Sure am.
Yeah. So we're learning about Bitcoin today with Levi. Levi's relatively new to the GCS team, although not really, because you've been with us almost at 2 years now. Levi did his internship with us. It wasn't paid, thank you. And now he is a new financial advisor on our team, and he's taking clients. Where is your area? What states are you meeting with people in?
Ohio, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi,
Indiana,
Illinois,
Michigan.
Sure.
Yeah. So guys, if you're any of those states, you can give Levi a call. Or if you're watching this program, give us a call. The number's on the screen, 888-391-3465. You can book an appointment with Galen or Levi, and we can answer all the questions that you have about finance. But today, let's continue talking about Bitcoin. We talked earlier that whenever you're adding Bitcoin into a client's portfolio, that the first thing that you have to do is a risk tolerance.
Yeah.
Can you explain what a risk tolerance is and what that means for clients that are watching?
Yeah. A risk tolerance is, something that just simple questions that I'm going to ask to kind of get in your head a little bit and see what you could handle in the market. What I always tell people is with risk comes the reward. So the more risky you are, the more volatile, you could lose money, but there also are chances that you're going to be able to make a little bit more money by choosing the riskier things. So the risk tolerance is very important to establish because I need to know what you could handle, because if you can't honestly stomach a 10, 15% loss if something happens to the market, then you can't handle the risk of Bitcoin.
Is risk tolerance, I know what risk tolerance is. We've talked about it for 20 years or whatever. Does it also change the closer you get to retirement too?
For some people it does, because it's just natural that you want to become more conservative as you age because you spent your entire life creating all of that wealth and now you want to save it and you want to make sure that you have that money to last for the rest of your lifetime.
Yeah. One thing that we have noticed in the time of working with federal employees and working with families to prepare them for retirement, we work over 40 states, and we have actually seen in states where people are a little bit more educated on finance, which I'll even say Connecticut, Massachusetts, those areas, people are going into retirement with a lot more money than people are in conservative states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, because the people in Massachusetts have played the market throughout their lifetime, and they're coming out with almost twice as much as the conservative people do that are not willing to take risks their entire life.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, over the years, I have noticed that certain states, people are more educated on investments, and where does that come from? I don't know. Some states, they just were brought up a little bit different. One of the things that's trending, right now, I have a lot of people that are opening up UGMA accounts, for their children or for their grandchildren. And what they're doing is they're actually starting to explain these accounts and how it works to their children or their grandchildren, which is giving a younger person, a little bit more knowledge about finance because they don't really teach this stuff in school. So it gives the ability for parents or grandparents to start educating their children on it now.
Yeah.
That's a great trend that's happening.
Yeah. So guys, it's real simple. If you want to set up an UGMA or a savings vehicle for your child or your minor, you can call the number on the screen. You can meet with us. It's something that's super simple for us to do, and you can start saving money for your children as well.
Yeah.
I want to talk, what are the, I want to wrap up the cons and the pros of Bitcoin. To wrap this all out, Levi, what is the biggest con of Bitcoin?
No insurance. You know, it's not FDIC insured, not SIPC insured, and that's the biggest scare for everybody. So,
explain that. Like, what does that mean for the people or for people?
Okay, so in SIPC, you have up to $500,000 worth of insurance if anything were to happen with your broker. Okay, FDIC is your bank, so up to $250,000. There's none of that within crypto.
Okay, and that's kind of like, I know on our bank at the top, they use it like an ad. Insured by the full faith of the federal government is what like the bank says. Yeah. So this is not insured by the bank of the government.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So that probably also increases its volatility.
Yeah.
Is there like some little Wizard of Oz somewhere, like in a room that like created Bitcoin? Is it an actual company?
No.
So it's just an idea?
It's anonymous.
A thought. Crazy.
I remember watching it. The first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was on The Big Bang Theory. An episode of that. That's the first time I heard about it.
It's so funny. The Big Bang Theory, also another good show. Yeah. And that's probably, back to my mom. My mom watches The Big Bang Theory all the time. It's why she has no time to watch our shows. Okay, so it's volatile. I know that is a huge negative, but what are the pros as well?
You don't want to get left behind. You know, this is where the world is going. You know, every trend is showing us that that's where it's going to go. So you kind of want to at least have a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
You know?
So Levi, I do want to welcome you to our show and to GCES officially in front of the entire world to see. And before we go, is there anyone that you want to say hi to at home that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my mom and dad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually know his parents. His parents are very nice. We're actually talking about possibly getting your father on a future episode.
Yeah.
If you're at home watching, don't forget that we asked about that. So guys, thank you so much. Learning about Bitcoin with Levi. I was actually a little scared to do this episode because we don't know anything about it. So this has been a learning process for me. I guess I am going to jump on the Bitcoin bandwagon and actually understand what it is.
Yeah.
I loved the internet when it came out, but Bitcoin, I just didn't want to learn anything about it. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
It was an awesome show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.